Thank you, Sue. And I neglected earlier just to talk a little bit about today's program being a Rotary Engagement Day. It's probably obvious to all of you, but really, as you're listening to the check presentation that we just had in Community Resources and the other students and people that are coming up here today, these are all things made possible by our clubs doing, our working, our committees, our fundraising. So please keep that in mind. Today, it's all about Rotary and how you get more engaged, more inspired, and more ready for what comes next with Rotary. So thank you all for being here today, and just keep that churning in your back of the head. If you hear something like, wow, I could be a mentor to a kid because I've got this special skill, sign up and do it, because that's why we present these opportunities, so people become more aware, more involved in Rotary and all the multifarious things that we do. So, next. Rural Community Services. We have two people to introduce here. Matt West, who is the president owner of Informational Learning Experiences, and Melanie Logan, University of Colorado Medical Student Scholar. This is all part of Rural Community Services CU Medical Student Scholar Report. So,
Delighted to introduce Melanie Logan as our speaker, and she's a second-year physician assistant at the University of Colorado Anschutz Medical Campus. She's a member of the Global Health Track at the School of Medicine, which afforded her the opportunity to travel to Guatemala this summer. 5 weeks for a combined clinical and research experience. This is one of the wonderful students who we have provided scholarships through our Rural Community Service program. She's originally from Columbus, Ohio, but claims that she is a convert. As a former Wisconsinite, I'm very proud to announce that she also is a Green Bay Packer fan. Melanie?
Hi everyone, thank you so much for having me. It's a privilege to be here. My dad is actually a long-time Rotarian, so he was excited for me to be here as well, back in Columbus. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my experience this summer in Guatemala. Like you mentioned, it was 5 weeks. We'll get started. Just a little bit of background about Guatemala. I'll let you all read this, so I don't have to read it off to you, but it's a pretty small country. It's about 6 sizes smaller than Texas. The official language is Spanish, but there's lots of other dialects and indigenous languages that are spoken there. It does have the longest civil war in history in Latin America. It's really important to know a little bit about the history of Guatemala before traveling there, just because the US played a pretty big part in that. And it's really an important thing to keep in mind when we're trying to work with patients and work with communities down in Guatemala. Obviously, as you can see, it's a very impoverished country. 8 out of 10 children are chronically malnourished. That's something that we definitely saw in clinic. There's lots of volcanoes, some active volcanoes we saw erupting. That's a picture of one of them erupting. Climbed some volcanoes, went to the famous Lake Atitlán. All right, so this is the picture of the Trifinio site. So the site that we went to is on the coast of Guatemala. It is near kind of the Mexico-Guatemalan border on the west side. It is a very rural, very poor community. The University of Colorado entered into an agreement years ago and established this survey to kind of see what the needs of this community are. And they said, it's a huge banana plantation. They said, what we really need is a clinic for our people. We have thousands of families who live here and we have no access to any medical care. So the University of Colorado Center for Global Health and Children's Hospital of Colorado entered into this agreement and built this beautiful clinic. It has a full staff of Guatemalan docs, nurses. We just go down there and rotate and help initiate research. They have a pretty big prenatal program. They do incredible things for kids. It's nice to do with the youth development team. This is the survey that I went down there to conduct. I was part of a pretty big team. About 12 of us went down. With public health students, other med students, some of the researchers, and we went back to look at data. So in 2015, this survey, which is the CDC survey, was administered to identify kind of gaps or barriers to adolescent health in Guatemala. And so we went back 4 years later to see how this is going and how the programs that we've implemented really made a difference. So the 2 biggest things that they've identified are kind of nutritional needs. So like 60% of kids said that sports drinks or like pop and soda are things that they take more than water, as well as teen pregnancy and issues of sexual health. So we went back there and did the survey again and tried to see how this Big Decisions program, which was a program that was conducted in schools over the years, to see how this is helping kind of reduce these rates of health risk factors that we're seeing. So these are some pictures. We measured a lot of height, weight, blood pressure. We counted teeth, which is a big indicator of nutrition. And so we're kind of analyzing those results now. So our preliminary data and next steps. So we administered over 1,400 surveys, which is significant. These were all by hand, handing them out in classrooms, sweating in over 110-degree weather. And so we're analyzing the data right now. It's a pretty significant amount to go through. But we're excited to see that a lot of this programming that has been developed by the University of Colorado is really making a huge impact on the lives of these young people. So we're really going to talk about oral health, violence, drug use, etc. So obviously, I learned a lot. This is a completely life-changing experience. I'm excited to go back in my third year, hopefully. As Mac and I were discussing, research in global settings doesn't always go as planned. The second week we were there, they just decided to cancel schools in Guatemala, which made it challenging to conduct surveys in schools. But we just had to make up for that with putting in some extra time. If you give people the chance, they really are invested and want to be invested in their health. And so these kids have never had a blood pressure taken before, and they might be 18 years old, or they've never had anybody weigh them. They don't even know what that really indicates. And so having these conversations with kids as an aspiring clinician was really an amazing thing to see. Kids are kids, no matter where you are. Lots of them understand what music we listen to, what we do on the weekends, what it's like back in Colorado. This is something that aligns nicely with today as well. It's so important to invest in youth in a lower or middle income country. This is the future of these countries. These countries are very unstable in some sense, and so it's really important that you invest in young people so that they can, really rise up and do better. Something that the University of Colorado has really taught me is that it's really crucial to include community leaders and local people when you just have these discussions about making big changes. In order to be sustainable, you really need to create partnerships, and so that's something that's been really powerful to see, especially in prison. And I really reinforced my passion for working with the Latino population, which I do a lot in Aurora, and it's been helpful with my Spanish. So this is just a Paul Farmer quote that I really like about partnerships in the community. I also learned that it's incredibly painful to get stung by a scorpion, which also happened to me. So thank you all so much for supporting my summer project. It really goes to incredible population health research to really improve the outcomes of adolescents in rural Guatemala. Thank you.
Awesome. Again, that's a program supported by what we do as Rotary Club with our fundraising and our grants, and it's something that we love to do year after year. So pay attention when we do our fundraising, red bucket, and all that fun stuff. Next up, we have Rotary Youth Exchange, builds peace one young person at a time. And we'll bring up for our club Scott Campbell, who's our Rotary Youth Exchange chair. He's a senior manager of business development with ACR Universal Payments. So Scott, come on.
Good afternoon, everyone. Again, I'm Scott Campbell, and it's a pleasure to be here this afternoon. Following up on the comment that Sue made, when I was a kid, the hot button was not to be a partner channel manager or a large universal payment company, the largest in the world. But it is very warm, so let's keep it there. But what was a hot button was Youth Exchange. I've mentioned in the past that I was a youth exchange student with Rotary 28 years ago. To have a memory that's decades old still be so sincere and right at the forefront of your mind is a significant experience. It just represents how meaningful and how much these exchanges change the path, the educational and the career paths of all of the exchange students around the world. Some 5,000 every year with Rotary Exchange. My wife refers to all of my pictures in Japan as a Where's Waldo exercise. So today we really have the honor of having three very important individuals for our club and for the Rocky Mountain Rotary Youth Exchange here with us today to share insights of their experiences, both steering the Rocky Mountain Rotary Youth Exchange program, having just returned from an exchange program in Spain, and also being here in Denver as an exchange student currently. I will go through and introduce all of our members in just a moment, but we're going to do a little exercise and get some people standing just for a moment. I'm going to ask you to stand if you answer yes to the questions that I'm going to present. The first question is, you have been a Rotary Youth Exchange student. Well, of course, the others that have been here are not here today, but I'll raise my hand as well. The second question, your child or grandchild has been a Rotary Youth Exchange student. A few more standing. Third question, you have hosted a Rotary Youth Exchange student in your home. There's a few more. You have been involved with the Rotary Youth Exchange Committee, either at the club level or the district level. Those are actually already standing now. We have Susan standing now. And the last one I'm going to ask is, you have invited a Rotary Youth Exchange student on an outing or activity. And I'll just give you a few more. First of all, for those of you, please stay standing. Thank you. And while you're standing, please lean over to anyone at your table that is still seated and encourage them to get involved. Ask one of our exchange students who is here for dinner at your home. Invite them to join you on a hike, a botanic garden, a sports event, or be a host family. These are all ways that you can be supportive to this group, youth exchange program. It benefits you just as much as it does the students. Okay. So going back to the cast of characters that we have here today, we're going to hear first from Kimberly Armitage. Kimberly is the Vice President of Strategic Growth and Membership for the YMCA of Metropolitan Denver. Kimberly is also the overall chair of the Rocky Mountain Rotary Youth Exchange Program. She's been involved with the program for 20 years and has been leading the program as overall chair for 10. She is also the chairperson for the conference for NIAN, the North American Youth Exchange Network. And I think, deserving of a round of applause, Kimberly was recognized as Rotarian of the Year in our district this year. So Kimberly's going to give some insights about her experience in the program. Then we're going to pass it off to Mabel, who is just back from Spain, and then to Sophia, who's here from Argentina.
How's everybody doing today? Okay, my club, when I stand up, just so you know, I say hello, and they respond back to hello, and it's a lot more enthusiastic, and there's a lot less of them. So, hello? Oh, that's much better, much better. So, as Scott said, I've been involved with Rotary Youth Exchange for the last 20 years. I keep track of that by knowing when I joined Youth Exchange, I was pregnant with my son, who is now 20 years old. So that's how I keep track of how long I've been involved in Youth Exchange. So the reason I joined Rotary, believe it or not, I was only 24 years old when I joined Rotary. So I've been a Rotarian longer than I've been married, almost as long as I've worked for the YMCA. But Rotary Youth Exchange, our goal is world peace and understanding, one person, one exchange at a time. I truly believe that youth exchange can help create world peace. If we had the opportunity, and you're going to see in a later slide, that every teenager had the opportunity to go on exchange, individuals, there would be no war, because people would be more understanding of one another. I have exchange students as I talk, and Mabel can remember, this is something I say in my orientation, and Sophie's been here this weekend at our orientation, that when students have the opportunity to meet other students from other countries and truly learn about what they are and who they are, and get rid of the stereotypes, it really helps make a difference to break down those barriers. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about something that Scott said and why I do youth exchange. I've hosted over 13 students in my own home. I am currently hosting a student from Denmark in my home right now. Everyone keeps asking me how's it to be an empty nester because my last child just went off to college and I just couldn't do it, so I have another exchange student living with us, I guess maybe to fill that void of my kids now being gone. But youth exchange in the clubs and the clubs being able to support our students is really crucial to make the students' experience awesome. Some of the things that I hear when I read monthly reports on a monthly basis for my students who are outbound as well as the students that are inbound is when I see club involvement, those students tend to be happier. They tend to be less homesick because they have opportunities of things to do. So up here, I have a list of things of what the expectation of the club counselor is. And I'm sure Sophie has a counselor. And I want to invite all of you to know that this is not just the club counselor's responsibility of being an advocate for the student or supporting the host family and the student at school. It's not just Chris's responsibility to ensure things are going well. When you guys see Sophie at Rotary asking her how school is, it helps make a difference. Ensure that we're helping with transportation to get Sophie different places. Students, when they come abroad, they can't drive. So against the rules. Even if they have a driver's license, they're not allowed to drive. Insurance goes out of the roof if we let them drive. So they're not allowed to drive. Involving your club members. So Scott talked about the idea of taking your students someplace. Well, I really encourage Sophie that she actually creates a bucket list and that Rotarians have an opportunity to sign up for different activities that she wants to accomplish between now and the end of the year. And this weekend, when all the inbound students come to our orientation, we're going to be providing the students with a starting point of a bucket list. So the next time Sophie visits your club, I'm sure she's going to have that list to get you guys to all sign up to help take her places. She may want to go to an NFL football game, who knows? But there can be a variety of different things that will really help Sophie make her year great. So I have a couple quotes that I want to take you guys through. I'm not going to read them, but the students that experience youth exchange, from my experience, they say it is a changing of their life. A lot of students, and you're going to hear Mabel, I'm sure, talk about this, about the difference of what it has done for her. She's very recently, some of you who were at the district conference this past March, you heard from a variety of different students that talked about their experience, why they did youth exchange, and what it has meant to them. And youth exchange is, to be honest with you, the reason I stay in Rotary. It is a part of my life, and the impact that I feel that our committee and all the individuals to help these youth experience something they would not have an opportunity to experience is really important, and it really helps promote Rotary. And we're seeing more and more because to get those students to come back into Rotary. And it is a goal that we are truly working on, because I don't mean to be critical right now, but look around the room and the age of this room, that we've got to bring some younger people in to help promote that. Not to be critical, but I'm just saying. So here's a quote. This is one of my favorite quotes from a student that went to Austria 2015, 2016. If you don't get along with someone, just be pleasant with them. There's no way, one saying you need to become best friends with all of the people we go with. If you want it, work for it. Speaking to natives of German now is not so scary. I feel as though I have not learned a lot of German in the last couple of weeks, but according to my friends, my German gets better by the week, so not worried there. Thanks, Rotary, for being so amazing. Patience is more than a virtue. It's the best way to have a successful exchange here. My current family is so much better than my last, and patience got me through to be where I am with them now. It also helps the whole language learning process and culture adapting process. So you can see that the students, not everything is always hunky-dory. As a matter of fact, it'll be interesting to hear when you guys hear from Mabel and Sophie that it's not all great, it's not all roses. It's a tough year. It's not an easy thing for a team to do. And take that time to kind of see, but you can see that they grew. This student, Max, who went to Italy in 2015, 2016. Sometimes I walk home and I love to just look at the view and realize how lucky I am. This world is amazing. And I would like to turn it over to Mabel to talk about her experience as a student.
Hello, my name is Mabel McKenna, and I'm very grateful to be here today. I just have gotten back from Spain about half weeks ago, maybe. So, Colorado, I'm still adjusting back to being here. But, so I was lucky enough to go to Spain for 2018, and I was placed in a city called Vigo, Spain. It's in Galicia, which is the upper part of Spain above Portugal. And Spain, or Vigo, has about 300,000 people, and it is a port city, and it is known for its seafood cuisine, which I had to take a liking to because that's mostly what we ate. And one of their finest cuisines is called pulpo, and it's octopus. It's very interesting. If you ever get a chance to try it, I would recommend it. Very interesting. You may or may not like it. But I ended up not liking it, but and I was very lucky getting placed in Vigo because after traveling around Spain and being in many places, Vigo has a very special place in my heart, and it is one of the most beautiful cities that I saw, and I was lucky enough to spend 10 months there. So this is a map of Spain, and Vigo is top corner, right above the top of Portugal. Just in a map because no one knows where that is. So, okay, so I was supposed to do a brief history of Spain. So, to me, since being in Spain, Spain is one of the most beautiful cultures in the world, filled with endless passion and a different quality of life. Spain is the fourth largest country in Europe, and has a population of 47 million people. Spain once was arguably one of the richest countries in Europe, and they have a very interesting history with Columbus, because they believe that Columbus actually came from a city close to where I was called Bayona in Spain. So they have a replica of the boat in Spain, and there's many fiestas throughout the year celebrating Columbus's reach to America. I'm not going to read the whole thing because you guys can read it. But Spain is there's a lot, well, at least in my city, there's a lot of buildings that are, everything is old, which I enjoy. So Spain is now in a democracy, and their government has changed over many years. So these are some of the highlights of Spanish culture. I can tell you highlights of my year, but there's many highlights. So I enjoy Spanish culture so much because the people live so passionately, and they have a different attitude towards life, which took me a little bit of getting used to. And they go to lunch and they spend 5 hours sitting at lunch and talking, and I'm like an hour in, I'm like, can we go home? I'm ready to go home. And then we sit there for 5 more hours, and I'm like, okay. But after being there for a year, I now find myself sitting with my family, and my family's ready to go, and I'm still sitting there like, wait, are we still eating? So they have a very relaxed lifestyle. And for me, I enjoy the passion that Spaniards have, and going to football games, and everyone is just has so much life. And that was one of my highlights. And there's many highlights throughout the year, but being in Spain and being with these kind of people made my life so much more enriched. And these are also all pictures that I took throughout my year. So, and then this is my daily life. So obviously it changed. I was in 4 different host families throughout my year. But I woke up every day and I went to school. I went to a Spanish high school, and I was in there last year, which happens to be the hardest year. So most of my friends ended up having to study, and I ended up having to watch them study. So, my first few weeks was in September, and it was still beautiful, and so I got home from school and go to the beach with my family. which was amazing because I'm from Colorado and we don't have beaches. And we would go to the beach, and then I would eat lunch with my family, and everyone in Spain goes home for lunch. Even if you work, the family come home and you eat for lunch. So I would eat with lunch with my family every day, and then I would hang out with friends, and I went on a lot of Rotary trips. We went to different cities in Spain together. And I spent a lot of time with the exchange students in my city. There was nine kids, I think. There was a few from Canada, Australia, a few from the USA. Actually, one of the other kids, he's from Telluride, who's in my city. So every day was different. Every host family was different. My first host family was my best host family. I love them so much, and I had 4 different host families, so you adjust pretty quickly to changing how you live in different families. But as Kimberly said, it wasn't all easy. My second host family was difficult, and you just have to push through and know that, you know, there's opportunities outside of the family, and I ended up meeting some of my best friends in the hardest time of my exchange because I reached out and I made friends outside of my families. And then this is my at-work. So this last year has been one of the most amazing years of my life. It was such an amazing experience meeting all these kids from all these different countries, and we would meet all up, and there'd be people from Taiwan, people from Australia, people from all parts of the world, and we'd all meet up and have connections. And it's given me a whole new perspective on life. And I believe in myself much more than I ever did, because you're pushed to be independent, you're pushed to make your life beautiful, and you have to do it all on your own. You can't expect anyone else to do it for you. And I believe that going and traveling is one of the most amazing things that anyone can do, to experience all the different cultures and experience how people live, and being able to be a part of a culture for 10 months was the most amazing experience of my life. And I now have friends in probably almost a lot of the countries in Europe that I can go see and spend time with, and that is an amazing experience to be able to go spend time with your friends in Germany. I want to go to the Philippines to see my friends, so I have all these connections now that I hope are lifelong connections. Oops, sorry. And then these are my future goals. So now I'm back, and I just have gotten back, and hopefully I am going to find a job here and work for the next year, and then I want to go back to Europe and study fashion. And hopefully I'll end up going back to my cities, my families, and my friends, because they're a major part of my life, and I want to make sure that they're part of my life forever. That's it. I had a bunch of pictures, and I ended up not being able to load them, so if you ever want to see more pictures, I think I have like 7,000 from the last year. So if you ever want to see them, you can just contact me through Scott, and I'll be happy to have coffee or lunch or dinner with anyone who wants to talk. So thank you for having me. Thank you, Rotary Denver. Thank you, Kimberly, for making this possible. Thank you.
My name is Sophia Coto. I'm from Argentina. And I'm staying here for 10 months. It's already been one for more than here for the result is called asado, which is meat with then we have mountain that is a kind of like tea. My favorite is cookies with a filling and empanadas. I think that is most in Argentina is like in the previous Washington. I live near the mountains and snow. We have we have a ski center too. My school is really small, my city is really small, so it's really different. There's a photo there. It's like that's my city. It's like a triangle. It's the whole province. My city is called Rio Grande. But there's a photo of the whole country. I'm here with one of my family and friends. I live with my sister, my mom, and dad, and my little dog. And I have like a really big group of friends. We are like 16 people. I chose to be a part of Rotary Leadership Change because I think that you receive like more support than the other organizations. You get to know much more people from all around the world. In Denver, my first impression of Denver was that everything was really big. It's like every day is really sunny. Every day was really sunny, and the city was like raining and cold every day, so it was a really big difference. I have been to some places here, like Garden of Gods, Evergreen, Bridge. We have been hiking with other group. The kids are staying in Colorado too. We are like 19 kids. There are some photos, that I completed. That's my school, East. The things that I'd like to try, one of the things that I was most excited to try was trying to play field hockey. That I actually played just with my whole team. And I'm really excited about the holidays, like Halloween or because we don't have it in Argentina, so I'm kind of excited because of that. Christmas, I don't know, Thanksgiving, we don't have it there. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly, Mabel, and Sophie. There are a few ways that we've talked about getting involved. I won't beat that down anymore, but we really do rely on the success of the program and the members of the club being involved and active. Please let me know if you ever have any questions about that. We did a few weeks ago collect the ideas of things, activities to do with Sophie already. I think there was about 8 or 9 invitations that came with that group. Thank you, and thank you for those of you that had made that commitment. Sophie's gone on a few of those outings already, so thank you. I think the best way to end this conversation, again, about the importance and how brilliant Rotary's Youth Exchange Program is the quote from a past Rotary president. And again, Kimberly made reference to this. My dream is for every 17-year-old to become a youth exchange student. If we could achieve this, there would be no more. Thank you.
Well done. Youth Exchange is a program, I think we were at 61 years, am I right about that? When Mary was doing her history earlier, the Rotary's been doing youth exchange or some sort of exchange like that, so. Kimberly says that our district 5450 was the first district in Rotary International to do an exchange with Austria. Wow. Australia. Wow. we've got lots of history here in Denver doing this. That's awesome. Scott, thank you for producing and putting together today's program. You and Andrew as well, that are part of our Youth Exchange and chairing that for our club this year. Thank you very much for doing that. On behalf of our club, we've made a donation to end polio. Now 100 kids will be inoculated to get the drops to prevent them from getting polio when it's matched together with the bill. Thank you. Let's see, next week's program is we're going to be back at the Denver Country Club. So it'll be our second time there, so please make note of that, Denver Country Club. Our topic is going to be age-friendly workplace and intergenerational relationships. Karen Brown, the CEO of iAging and Rotarian Matt Isola, member of our club, founder of Generation Exchange. You need to make reservations for that meeting by Monday, so please pay attention to your inbox, make those reservations. Again at the Denver Country Club next week. Is Seth Patterson? Oh, lucky Seth. We had a little something special planned for him. We'll do it next week. One quick announcement, and this is of a different sort of exchange than we've heard about. Generation Exchange. This flyer is on your table if you haven't seen it yet. But since we've got a moment right now, Chad, do you want to speak about it for just a second? This is an opportunity coming up in a few days. A different exchange locally.
Thank you, Jim. Good afternoon, everybody. If you can locate the flyer under the table and circulate around the table. And I'm not sure I got an equal distribution, so if you find yourself with extra flyers, pass them along to another table to make sure everybody gets one. This is a program that Matt Isola is spoke about before. This is a program where he brings in mentors to teach folks like me that are technology illiterate. It shows us how to maximize the use of our cell phones, our iPads, things like that. So Matt does these programs once a month for several months into the future, but our club is going to sponsor the program on October 12th. So that's a Saturday, and it's going to be from 11 to 1 p.m. So this is a 2-hour free event. It's an opportunity for all of us to learn more about maximizing the use of our technology, in particular cell phones and iPads. So our club is sponsoring that event. I'm going to encourage you to sign up if you can. There's a link to Matt's website here. I don't think Matt's with us today, but if you have questions, you can reach out to him. Again, there's a link to the website for sign up, and appreciate you guys considering participating. Thank you, Jen.
At home, sometimes I get to be the IT support office for calls that come in periodically. So, Mom, that looks like a fun event to go to, doesn't it? Yeah? And with IT support. Anyway. Let's do the four-way test. It's right here behind me, so if you can stand and join me in the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do. We are adjourned. Thank you.